I discovered her from a friend of the show, Kenyon Dixon, on the song Here, and was blown away by her smooth tone and flow. I immediately asked Kenyon, who is this? She was on my radar immediately. And I'm so happy she's releasing music. Welcome to the show, Grammy Award winner, Susan Carroll. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Since you've won this Grammy, how
Yes.
has life been?
It has been, it's been like a dream. It's really been a dream. I'm
Mhm.
like, it's crazy to see it in my house all the time, but then also just like the amount of love and just like um love and work that came from it has been
Yeah.
amazing. So I'm just like excited for the next chapter and what will happen next. Like, what will continue to happen. But yeah.
Yeah, so you won this Grammy with another friend of the show, PJ Morton, and I got a chance to talk to him about you and he said he told you like, "Hey, when you get on stage it's different. It's different."
He did because I was like, oh, I wrote my speech, like I'm ready just in case, like, because I had faith. I just had faith. I was just like, when I go up there, I got a speech prepared. I'm ready. And he was like, all this gonna go out the window if you when it actually happened. And I was like, okay. And then I got up there and forgot everything and cried. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
PJ also said when you all did the song, he said you always said this is going to do something. You
I
always had
did.
that faith. How was it
I
when
did.
you and PJ won the song for Good Morning? How was it
Mhm.
when you were you all in the studio together when you recorded?
And no, it was like
Really?
a bounce back and forth. I recorded it in my room here actually. I he said he was just like, I heard you on this song. Like when I made it, when I like I just heard you. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, send it to me. I'ma get on it and send it back. And so he
Yeah.
sent it to me. I recorded and then I sent it back to him and then it just was like, yeah, they just made it sound magical.
Wow. I want to
Yeah.
talk later about this. He also shared with me, he was like, he heard some of the new music you were working. He was like, she's bringing some heat. So I can't wait to
Yeah.
talk more about your new music. But the song, our show, The Hybrid Soul with Kelly Kinkaid, we're your destination for R&B discovery. And I'd love to discover you because you come from Fort Worth, Texas.
Yes, I do.
I'd love to discover your beginnings as a singer. Did you start from church? How did you get connected in music?
I started singing in my dad's church. So yeah, like when I was like 3 years old.
Yeah.
And then from there, I grew up singing in church and then around like 17, 18, I moved away and then went to college and then I started to like write my own songs, just kind of like writing about life and just using it as my own escape kind of. And then just kept letting it lead me wherever it was, wherever it went. And then as of recently, like when I moved to LA a couple years ago, it was like it kind of God just kind of like laid all the steps out and like opened all the doors for it to happen this way. But
Yeah.
I'd always like sang, but just like as far as the dream or like the this journey that I'm on now, it just was kind of like spirit led. Like I'm like, okay. So like
Yeah.
even with PJ, it just happened like I or even getting signed to Def Jam, it was all like just kind of doing what like that came from just posting online and like posting every day and just sharing my gift. And
Yeah.
then PJ, I met him singing background for John Batiste, and they happened to have a song together. And then from there, it just kind of like we connected, and then it went, and then it just was like, yeah, I hear you on this song, and so it just was like being at the right place, or just like always following where God was leading me, and I just ended up here
Yeah.
at the
That's
with a Grammy.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Your voice is different. Like I said, when I heard you on here, I was like, wait a minute. Who is she? I really was. Who is she? It's one of
Oh,
my
yeah,
favorite songs to this day. It's a beautiful song.
it
Um,
is.
but that journey, like the journey sounds beautiful. How as far as I liked music, went to school, left, went to LA, like that journey, what has kept you just focused on your dreams?
Just knowing like that it was something like my whole, I just knew it was something bigger in me. Like
Mm.
I just feel responsible for this gift that I have. And I've just been like following it and just going where it leads. Like I went to school to be like a doctor. Like I was studying biology and then I went to psychology and kind of just like like music kind of just always found me. Like
Yeah.
as much as I tried to like, not that I ever was running away from it, but just like, oh, this is something that I have, and now I would never like try to make it a career. And then now it's like, oh, this is something that I have, and it's my job to make sure that I share with the world as much as I can because this is what. And then I start to see more and more as I'm sharing it that it's the gifts. It's underneath what the gift is that I'm supposed to do. It's like whatever is, it's just not the singing, you know, where you think it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, I'm supposed to be this singer. And it's like, no, you're supposed to go and do this, share this gift, you know? So it's just, yeah.
When I hear your voice, I read somewhere that Harmony Samuel said if we had a baby Jasmine Sullivan and Amy Winehouse, that would be Susan Carroll. I think that's amazing because those are powerhouses. Who
Power.
have been your or who are your musical influences?
Mm. Well, growing up, I listened to a lot of like Clark sisters and Kim
Yeah,
Burrell and
yeah.
like Dorinda Clark specifically was my favorite because she just had that raspy tone, you know. And I always wanted that because when I was younger, I had a really high soprano, pure voice, and I was like, "Oh, I want that grunge." I always wanted it, and now I have it, and I'm so happy. But yeah, and then as far as like R&B, I listen to a lot of like Music Soul Child and Indie Jasmine Sullivan, I listened to her a lot growing up. Who else? And then like my jazz, I liked Billie Holiday and
Mhm.
Ella Fitzgerald, and I liked just like the classics. I was just like
Yeah.
all over the place. But yeah,
Yeah. It's working. It's definitely working. You
thank
released a
you.
project independently called Alchemy.
Mhm.
How and then it was a different it was a gap because now we're in 2024. What were you
Yes.
doing in between this time of doing your independent project and now?
Um, living life. Um, going back and forth between if this is what I'm supposed to be doing or not.
Yeah.
Then just like realizing this is what I'm supposed to be doing, just like getting opportunities that kind of like show me that this was supposed to be. So it's just like figuring it out because that was like, then it was like a lot of people was like, oh, you can sing, you need to release music. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And that's kind of just what I did. I didn't have like an attachment to it. It was just like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But then in those in between years, it was finding out like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And this is how you actually do it. And
Mhm.
this is like becoming that, growing to become the person that would go that can come on to be like to make the music that I'm supposed to make and not just what I was making. Because when I listen back to Alchemy, I'm like, it was like Susan was having fun and she was feeling good and she was going through all this love and all this stuff, but it wasn't like anything of like, you know, it was a part of me, but it was like
Yeah.
now I'm like the music that I'm making or the place that I am now is just like, oh, okay, this is what it really means to make a song or just like make music for real, or make a song or like really put your all into a song or really write a song and craft a like make music, you know, and do this
Yeah.
art thing. Yeah. So yeah, just living life and figuring it out for real.
I love it. So I would love to get into this first single, Karma.
Mhm.
First of all, when I saw Susan Carroll has a new song, I immediately was going to hit play. But then when I
Uh-huh.
went to the lyrics of Karma, so many of us can relate to the
Yeah.
karma. Please tell me what, like,
Um,
is this a personal experience? Your girlfriends? How did this song come together?
it was it's like a culmination of a lot of personal experience. It wasn't one man, it was just like all the men, and this is
Yeah.
what I would have said to them over my life if I would have just had more of a background. Like this is what I would have said. But yeah, and it was just like, how could I like I don't know, how could I poetically or like musically make them feel how they made me feel? So it's like when they listen to this song and when they feel it, when the women sing along, it's like, yeah, that's my piece too. Like I get to say my piece, and that's how I would have said it. Like I agree with all those things because we don't want anything bad to happen to you, but we hope your hairline is struggling a little bit or like whatever,
Yeah, yeah. I'll
No, I'm
let
just playing.
karma
But
get you first. Yeah.
yes, it's like I'm gonna sit back and in my R&B way of saying it, it was just like I'm gonna let God handle my battles. Like, it's not up to me to decide or try to come back and do anything to you. It's just like I did all I can. I loved you how I could love you, and that's just what it is. Karma don't get
Anthem.
you.
It's an anthem for
Yes, and you
sure.
get on my nerves. You get on my nerves.
Period.
I
When
love
you
it.
How was it going into the studio this time?
Mhm.
Because you were working with Harmony Samuels, and I'm sure you're working with a lot of other people. How was the experience, or how did you take your experience putting together Alchemy and the other songs you've working people with when you started? Because started with Karma. What did you take from that, from your past experience, into starting this new music?
I Honestly, I did. I mean, the only thing, because I can't even say I took the same voice into this experience.
Yeah.
I don't even think I took any parts of it. More so, just like the passion to be there. That's
Hmm.
the only thing I kind of took. But when I got there, I was a different person, completely different voice, different like approach, different reason for doing it. Like, so it was just like for this one, and just even being in a more mature space to understand that I don't have to do everything myself, because I felt like I have to do it all, and I like, and
Yeah.
it's just like, no, like there's a such thing as collaborative, work, and just like
Yeah.
sometimes ideas get the best, like, the best, they're honored more when you can work as a team, or you can like get your ideas across more when you work with people, so it's just
Yeah.
like, and then getting to do it on a higher level. Like I just was like, okay, like let me go in and give it my all, like, and just
Right.
like, yeah.
Who out of all the people that you've worked with, who is someone that you've kind of taken some words of wisdom, maybe ethic or something that they've told you in your journey?
Um, I would say PJ, because he
Yeah.
always dropping gems. Like he's always, and it's from everything, just like from whenever I do go and show up to go do like Good Morning or something, and we're at sound check, it'll be like, because I'm very timid, and I'm like, oh, I'll just take what the mic is doing, like, and he just like, no, like come up here and like tell them what you want, and like this is how you do this, and this is how you be strong, and like, because he's like, I've been you before, and he like just like the person happy to be here, and kind of just like, you but take control of the stage, just like little gems here and there. So it's
Yeah.
just like he always is telling me something constructive.
Yeah.
And even with the new music, it's just like, don't, like, just always giving the right advice.
That's
So yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Being you're newly signed to Def Jam Records, how is it working with a label? You being, like you said, learning you can work collabs. How has this experience been so far?
It has been hmm, it's been a learning experience for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's been a lesson in patience, a lesson in like perseverance, and just kind of always believing in yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because sometimes being on a bigger thing, it kind of just puts you back at like I've gotten as far as I can go by myself. And then like going to, it's just like, okay, now I have to kind of work up again. And it's not
Yeah.
that I have to show my worth. It's like my worth is here, but also it's just, so it's just like a lesson in patience, and like realizing that just because it is a record deal is not like, oh, it's next level, it's like more work to begin, like to come,
Yeah.
but staying like, um, what's the word? Motivated and keeping the faith and just believing, like,
Yeah.
so uh, it's a very, yeah, it's been a learning experience, a very fun journey, and a very like, yeah, I
Um,
wouldn't trade.
what
Yeah.
can we expect on this new project that's coming out?
Hmm. Y'all can expect timeless music. You can expect an elevated to for the people that are being introduced, just like
Hmm.
a new sound, but just like a nostalgic sound. I like every time I listen to it, I feel like this sense of new nostalgia. Like it feels familiar, but then it feels like something you've never heard before. So, and then just
Yeah.
like all the vibes, just like love, heartbreak, heart mending, fun, everything that you could, just everything that life gives you, you
Yeah.
can, yeah.
What's your
But in
process?
music,
I love it. I'm looking forward to it. What's your process of writing songs right now? Putting them together. Your process, do you do them with people, by yourself? But what's your process?
for this album, I was doing them with people. I was
Mm.
like just kind of because I'm like I want the best possible thing or the highest form of myself, so I just was open to it. But now these days, I've been back to like finding myself going back to my core of just like writing with my guitar and in the basis of what I'm doing at home, just because I feel like I get the realest parts of me. Like, but also taking what I've learned when I do work with other people, just like writing styles and other processes, but just kind of like, yeah. So yeah, and just like being inspired on the whim, like how life is, just like I'll be doing my makeup in the bathroom and then a song will just start writing in my head and I'm like, oh, hold on. And I got one eyelash and I'm in here like trying to play it out real quick.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, so I just kind of like let us inspiration flow and just kind of be the vessel
I love
and
that.
create as I can. Yeah.
I love that. You're currently you're on the road, you're on tour. How is
Mhm.
this experience touching the fans and doing your music right now?
It is. It's. I think it's surreal. It's like I keep being surprised that
Yeah.
people are coming to the shows and that they're all selling out. And I don't know why I keep being surprised, but it's just like it's crazy to feel the love. And also, it's just like I'm realizing that it's a tour because I just thought like my manager just like I had a bunch of shows booked. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay, they're back to back shows booked. But then like the more
Sure.
I'm going, it's just like, oh, it's a tour and people like are coming. Like a person made me a shirt.
Yeah.
It was like Karma Tour, and I was like, okay, it's like it's been fun. It's been a very fun and just like once again another learning experience. Just
Hmm.
seeing that the people love me for me or just like just seeing it in person though, like I feel it on Instagram when people follow me and like they look at what I'm doing, but then when you go and you're at a show and it's just like, oh, I literally just it's just me and my guitar and I'm here and I'm just letting the spirit flow and I'm singing whatever. I'm gonna sing the songs that we know, but I'm gonna sing, and it's just
Yeah.
like that being enough though, and that being enough, and it's just like it's just crazy, so it just feels like a blessing and just like I'm excited to keep going and growing and just like yeah.
I love that. I got a chance to see you perform, and I'm sure it's different now because when you went out on the road with Kenyon, I saw you in Detroit. So you have your pocket of time. You come in and do your song, and you go off. And now it's
Uh-huh.
you. It's you
Yeah.
and the fans. Any special fan moments that you've had on the road so far?
I have had which one did I have? It's always okay. I'm like when I'm about to start singing Karma and then people start to sing it, especially like in what city was I in just last time? I forgot. I want to say Atlanta. One of these past two cities I was in, but they
Yeah.
were just like ready and sang with me, and it was just crazy. And then oh, I had a fan sing a whole song, like a song that I forgot to sing. And so I was just like, I'll sing it right now for you. And then so we just sang the whole song together, like right in the back together. And it was just crazy for them to know the whole song. And it was just like, this is wild.
That's
And then
amazing.
yes. And then the t-shirt moment, just somebody like he had the t-shirt on and then he had the t-shirt with him and he was like, oh, I made this. And it was just like my face everywhere. It was just the cutest. But yeah.
Amazing. When you were in Fort Worth, Texas, and you would see maybe some of your Dorinda Clark Cole, when you would see her performing, what was did you ever envision like it would be unraveling like this in life as a singer?
Not at all. Not at all. Like I thought like yes, like I would be one of those ladies who can just sing all the time, like or just like, you just got this secret gift. I didn't think like, oh, it's gonna go this crazy, like Grammy crazy, like this wild and like it's continuing to go, but it's just like, yeah, no, no. I just was like, oh, it's so beautiful to see them. Like I always looked up to them performing,
Yeah.
and it was like, wow, they're so powerful, they're so beautiful. But yeah, I couldn't see it at all.
God is good, right?
That's so good, and he's funny. He's funny. He just, I was just like, I couldn't have thought of this at all.
Yeah, amazing. I would love to ask you. I'm always curious to date. Um, I could easily say it's your Grammy moment, but what has been your goosebump moment to date?
I I'm like I want to say my Grammy moment, but
Right?
yeah, like that's only because that's the thing that has happened most recently. But and it's the biggest thing. Is just like not that I ever doubted that God was real, or that He heard me, or that He saw me, or that He whatever, or that He was looking
Yeah.
out for me. Like I never doubted it, but just like that was a real moment, and it will always be like etched in my heart and in my life as a moment. Like, oh, God is real and he will work on your behalf. Like if just having faith, like unshakable faith for real, like, yeah, like just knowing the type of faith that I had and then seeing it be rewarded and seeing it through, like that'll forever. Like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it now. Just like it's just crazy because it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Before I let you go, because I'm so honored for you to join this show. I've wanted you on this show before even Karma came out. I was like, I have to get her now. Um, Leaving your mark in life and music. What is that? What is that thing of what Susan Carroll would like to leave and connect with her fans and audience?
I would like to leave. Just like all the love. Like I just feel like that's what I was created to do. Like when I sing or when I share my gift, it's just this spirit of like love and healing. And that's what I want to leave with the people. Like just love yourself, love everybody, love God, keep him first, and just like, yeah, at every moment that you can, just spread love. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. Have you come up with the title of your project yet? Album?
Yes.
Okay.
The working title right now is Projections. So I'm working on that feels right. And I'm happy with that. So I'm just like, we'll see. Just like once we finish with everything. But yeah, that's where we at.
I love it. I love that. Well, Susan Carroll, thank you for joining the show. We're
Thank you.
loving what you're doing. Continue rising and elevating and spreading love and connecting with the masses. And I look forward to seeing you on the road again. It's the Hyper
Yes.
Soul with Kelly Kinkaid. Our guest today, my guest today is Susan Carroll.